Hello everyone and welcome to part 3 of the Tainted Love set review. And in this review I wanted to give a more honest review on the set itself because, well, the previous two videos was just pretty much nothing but praise for the set, and I sort of caught on to that, and well, I wanted to give a more honest and how I genuinely feel about the set because um all I did was just talk about positives about how much I like the set, which sort of shifted over time as I started to use it more and more, and and the set just started to seem a bit more just seemed meh to me over time. So yeah, so let's just look at the positives first, and then we'll look at the negatives. So positives is that it gives you really big stat buffs. Uh, Set wise for like all around, because that is what the set is meant for. It's not meant to be used in a specific area. It's meant to be used everywhere you go, which is a pretty big plus because um, the really powerful sets are like the banished or the voice or the nightmare sets. They're just meant to be used in one or two specific areas. So yeah, So this, so a positive about the set is that it could be used anywhere you want, and it gives you a pretty good stat buff when you're using it all around. Now, that is, well, hang on. So before I go into the negatives, I'm getting ahead of myself. Um, Another positive is that the base stats on the items themselves are high tier, so they're pretty much arcane stats. Um, which is to be expected because, well, it's a set, it's a rarity above mythic and a little bit below arcane, but hey, it's okay. It has really high stats. So, yeah, the positives overall is that it just gives you really high stats. Now, what are you going to sacrifice for the stats? And that's where I'm going to transition into the negatives. So, what you are giving up for these high stats that you could use anywhere is, well, first off, uh, you're restricting your weapon choice for those high stats. So I mean, like, of course, yeah, there's this the staff and like the daggers and all those other weapons. It comes in all weapon types, but the proc itself is just not going to help you out as much in the highest end content like Mausoleum 6, for example, because the enemies are just so tough and your damage won't be enough to actually keep up with the enemies. So this set isn't great at all for fighting high-end enemies like that. So yeah, you're going to be giving up really good choices like the Dragon Hunter staff or the Flameforge staff. And if you're just going to be farming casually, just fighting really weak enemies to farm for energy, um, well, you're pretty much just going to be using a really basic gun that doesn't have any AoE properties, so it's going to be slowing down your runs if you're trying to be in a hurry and farm as many energy essences or whatever it is as fast as possible. So the gun itself, it doesn't have any special attack properties to it except for it just gives you a damage buff or just drops pickups that enemies can pick up. So yeah. So another down about it is that, well, there's nothing really special to it with the attacks. And while, yeah, you could use the staff, I would much rather prefer using something like the Balanced Flame Blunderbuss or the Duskbringer Blunderbuss for other stuff because of their really high damage and their capability of taking out multiple enemies at once for the more slightly harder um, content that where it's sort of blurred between the lines of one shot and two shotting and three shotting enemies, you know? So, yeah, I would much rather use a balanced flame blunderbuss for farming in contents like Tinderin or um, Glintstone Caverns, you know? And another um, negative about the set is that, well, the buff, it is nice, and the damage difference is pretty noticeable. Um, but the problem with it is that, like I said earlier, damage can only take you so far because as the expansions increase, the health of enemies are going to get higher and higher, and then your damage isn't really going to be able to keep up as much, so you'll have to be depending on other items that are going to be more capable of just straight up killing enemies like well, the Dragon Hunter staff or the Flameforge staff, though the Flameforge staff is also going to be diminishing in effectiveness over time because, well, the Wildfire proc only has a set damage value for, well, set damage range for per tick, you know? So, yeah, damage can only take you so far, and if you're going to be running the end game content, you're going to need items that are more capable of, well, doing stuff like banishing enemies, you know? So, yeah, you're going to be giving up uh, procs over. You're going to be giving up procs over stats, and yeah, stats can only take you so far. And while there is a proc that can banish enemies, which is this other proc, um, it's meh because, well, it isn't really consistent because of the fact that you have to make enemies run into it to make it pick up. And if you have the full set, it gives you the insta kill and the stun pickups as a bonus, which is nice and would be great in application, but the execution is just really bad because you have to make the enemies pick it up itself. So, with that being said, is this so? Where would this stat be? Well, stat set be utilized? To be honest, I'm not really sure where this set would be utilized. I mean, like, yeah, it would be nice in like elite content and you're just messing around. Um, but yeah, I mean, like, if you're just one of those people that are just really hungry for stats and power, you know, I guess this would be the set for you if you just wanna just dish out more stats. Um, Also, this would probably be good in PvP. I'm not really sure because I'm not really a PvP player. Like I tried PvP and it didn't really appeal to me. So it would be pretty good in PvP, I guess, because, well, you're just dishing out really powerful stats. But in PvE, it just isn't that great because you're limiting your weapon choice. So yeah. So I would more recommend this set for PvP, but if you're just going to do more casual stuff in PvE, I would recommend getting the Endless Love set because well, you're not going to get as much as a benefit, but you could actually just equip the armor and then just use any weapon that you'd like. So yeah, but I mean like this set in PvP is pretty fun to use, but if you're more like trying to use things that are more practical for PvE, I wouldn't really recommend it. So this set is more about something that you fool around with, and yeah, that's pretty much about it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it helped you out. Hope it gave you a better idea of the set itself. And yeah, I know the the video was a bit boring because it was mostly just me talking. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.